Welcome back, students. So today we are going to continue the same story, Lost Spring. This is your part 2 and till now we have covered till page number 15. So from page number 15 I am going to start from I remember, something that the author remember. I told you that in this story the author is going to narrate a new story too. So here the author is remembering something and she is mentioning to us. What she remember? She remember a story of a man. She remember a story of a man, okay, who is from which place? Udupi place, okay. He is from Udupi place. Once told me. Here the author, Miss Anis, remember a story of a man from Udupi who told her as a young boy he would go to school past an old temple. So when this man was a young boy, what he used to do? His school, okay, let me try to build one school. This is not looking like a school, I'm sorry. Let me make a school. Okay, so here is our school within those two boundaries and there are different classes and all, fine. So when this boy used to visit the school, there was one temple. What was there? There was one temple, okay. So what he used to do? So as a young boy, he would go to school past an old temple where his father was a priest. So this man from Udupi, okay, when he was a young boy, he used to make a visit to the temple before visiting his school. That is what he is mentioning. And at that time, his father was a priest in that temple, okay. He would stop there for a period of time, small period of time at that temple, okay, and pray for a pair of shoes. So this young man, when he was a young boy, he used to pray for a pair of shoes. 30 years later, now what happened? 30 years passed, okay, 30 years later. 30 years later, I visited his town and the temple. Here the author again visited the same place, Udupi place, 30 years later, and what she saw? She saw that everything was covered in dust, completely desolated, completely destroyed. In the backyard, where lived the new priest? Now after 30 years, this priest has got changed. So there lived a new priest. There were red and white plastic chairs in their home. They were having red and white plastic chairs. Small improvement, that means. A young boy dressed in a grey uniform, wearing socks and shoes, arrived panting, taking deep breath, panting, and threw his small school bag on the folding bed. Looking at the boy, I remembered the prayer another boy had made to the goddess when he had finally got a pair of shoes. So looking at that boy, the author remembers the prayer of this young boy who has made this prayer 30 years ago that he wants a pair of shoes. 30 years have passed. Now there is another priest and this priest is able to provide the shoes, socks, school facilities and everything to his child. Slight improvement is there. Now in their home they are having white and red chairs also. Slight improvement is there if we are going to talk about the priest family within 30 years time period. Okay. Now this boy make a prayer. Never let me lose them. The goddess has granted his prayer. Young boys, like the son of priest, now wore shoes. Now the young boys who are son of priest, they have got the pair of shoes. Young boys, like the son of priest, now wore shoes. But many others. But if we are going to talk about the rag pickers, their condition is same. They still remain shoeless. They are still barefooted. Okay, that is what the author wants to tell us from this story. There is always improvement, development if we are going to talk about the priest family or other family members. But if I talk about the condition of rag pickers, they are in the same condition even though 30 years or 40 years or 50 years pass on. They are still barefoot, they are still suffering, not getting the enough facility. Fine. Now let's move further. Something else author has got to tell us. My acquaintance with the barefoot rag picker leads me to Simapuri. Now, once I come to know about Sahib-e-Alam, I come to know about a new place, that is Simapuri. So, as I was aware of Sahib, I came to know about one place. The place name is Simapuri. Very important line of this story. Please mark it. A place on the periphery of Delhi, yet miles away from it metamorphically. Here author says that Simapuri is at the periphery. Periphery is boundary of Delhi. Fine. Is at the boundary of Delhi, but still yet miles away from it. How can this be possible? Simapuri is at the boundary of Delhi. How can we say that it is mile away from it? Because Delhi is developed and Simapuri is not developed. You can say it is civilized. It is not civilized. So here you can find industries, working people, some kind of a development is taking place over a period of time. But in Simapuri you will find rag pickers, those who are suffering, no development, no civilization. This is the meaning of even though it is at the boundary of Delhi, but still far away in case we are talking about the development, civilization, education, basic facilities. This line is clear. How you can say that it is at the boundary of it, but still miles away from it. Those who live here are squatters who came from Bangladesh back in 1971. Those people who live here are the people who have came back from Bangladesh in 1971. Sahib family is among them. Sahib family is one of the family who live in Simapuri. We are going to underline the complete paragraph. Simapuri was then a wilderness. It still is, but it is no longer empty. Why it is no longer empty? Even though you will find that there is uncultivated land, find where you can't cultivate anything, but still you will find a lot of families there. Why? Because at least they are getting a means of survival there. If they can't find the field where they can work on, they can find the garbage dumps where they can visit and find something. At least they have got something to do. They are the rag pickers. Okay. It still is, but it is no longer empty. In structures of mud with roof of tin, how they are living, that is mentioned, completely covered with mud. The houses are made up of mud, okay, and the roof is of tin, or you can say tarpaulin. Tarpaulin is a waterproof cloth, you can say, they use generally, devoid of sewage, drainage and running water. There you will find 10,000 rag pickers. They live there for more than 30 years without any identity. They don't have any identity card with them, without permits, but with ration card. But they are having the ration card. Why they are having the ration card? Because of that they will get the grains, food to eat. Okay. So, ration card can get their names on voter list and it enables them to buy some grains. According to them, food is more important as compared to the identity, that who they are. If at the end of the day we can feed our families and go to bed without aching stomach. We would rather live here than in the field that gave us no grain. What the people of Simapuri thinks, that if the days end, okay, it is the night time, and when they go to the bed for sleeping, and they don't have any pain in their stomach because they don't have eat anything, that means their stomach is full, they have got the food to eat. That is more important as compared to the identity. That is the reason they left Bangladesh in 1971 and they started all visited Simapuri and living there from the last 30 years. You can find more than 10,000 rock pickers there. Fine. This whole lines we can use. We will get the long question relating to the life of Simapuri, how you are going to explain it, how they are suffering. These all lines we are going to use. Very long paragraph it is. What more is mentioned? So this statement is given from a group of women who was standing there, and when the author asked that why do you don't consider identity is more important, then this is the statement given from the woman side. Okay. Whenever they find food, they pitch their tents that become transit homes. So if they will not be able to find food in Simapuri, they will shift to some other place. Wherever they will find food, they will shift their homes there. What they are going to do? They are going to pitch their new tents there, and this will become their transit home. Transit homes which they can shift from one place to another place. Children grow up in them. Fine. Becoming partners in survival. How children become partners in survival? Like Sahib. Sahib is the partner and survival of his parents. He generally wake up in the morning and go do the collection in the garbage dumps and find out some rupee there too. And survival in Simapuri means rag picking. If you are living in Simapuri, that means you are a rag picker. Through the years, it has acquired the proportion of fine art. If you are going to do something for more than 1 year, then 2 years, continuously for years and years pass on, for decade, then obviously you will get trained in that. You can say that yes, I can do it very calmly, very perfectly, because I am just like trained in this. The same thing is happening with these people. They have acquired the perfect art in this field. Garbage to them is gold. It is their daily bread. From there they get the food, a roof over their head. Even if it is a leaking roof, doesn't matter. At least they are getting some place to live. But for a child, it is even more. We will get this question. How garbage to the parent is different to the garbage to the children? So we will get the answer here. I sometimes find a rupee, even a 10 rupee note, Sahib says. His eyes lighten up. What he said? I sometimes find a rupee or even a 10 rupee note. That is too much for him. When you can find a silver coin in a heap of garbage, you do not stop scrounging, you do not stop searching there. If you have found a rupee note, then you always get this hope that maybe next time I will find more. So you can't stop searching. You don't stop searching, for there is always a hope of finding more. It seems that for children, we are going to underline, garbage has a meaning different from what it means to their parents. For the children, what it is mentioned in your book, it is wrapped in wonders, like gift. It is wrapped in wonders. Okay, something exciting they will find it. But for the elders, what it is? It is a means of survival. Then only they can live. One winter morning, I see Sahib standing by the fenced gate of the neighborhood club, watching two young men dressed in white playing tennis. I like the game, he hums. He speaks so slowly. I like the game. Content to watch it standing behind the fence. I go inside when no one is around. He admits. The gatekeeper lets me use the swing. So what he is doing? Now author is mentioning us the time period of one winter morning. She saw Sahib who was standing behind the fences and he was peeping. He was watching what? He was watching one club in which the people were playing tennis. He too liked do that. He too liked playing. And the gatekeeper also allow him to go inside and play for some time. Even though I don't consider it to be the true part, I don't think so any gatekeeper is going to allow any of the rag picker to go inside and play. Fine. Sahib too is wearing tennis shoes that look strange because whatever the colored shirt, discolored shirt he was wearing, fine, faded colored shirt he was wearing and the faded shorts he was wearing, that doesn't match to the shoes he was wearing. Even though in that shoes there was a small hole, but that hole doesn't matter to Sahib. For Sahib, this is a new pair of shoes. Someone gave them to me. He just said that. When author looked at the shoes of Sahib, what Sahib said? Oh, someone gave these shoes to me. The fact that these are the discarded shoes. That someone said that now I'm not going to wear the shoes anymore and give it to the rag picker. Fine. For one who has walked barefoot, for that person, the shoes having the hole is just like the dream come true. This morning, Sahib, now this part is clear that he was standing behind the fences. Small stories part author has given us. Now something new author has mentioned us, some new morning detail she is giving us, and this last paragraph, very important. We generally get the question from this paragraph. This morning, Sahib is on his way to milk booth. Sahib was a rag picker. Now he is working in a milk booth. His hand is having steel canisters. I now work in tea stall down the road, he says, pointing in a distance. He said that I now work there in the tea stall. That is the reason he was having that steel canister in his hand. And he get 800 rupees in a month and all 3 times meal, food also. Does he like the job? I ask. Author asks, do you like the job? According to me, yes. Why? Do you think in that rag picking job he can get 800 rupees per month along with that 3 times meal on the time? No, I don't think so that he was getting that much earlier. Okay. Where I am. His face, I see, has lost the carefree look. We will get the question how you can say that his face has lost the carefree look. So we will get the question how you can say that he has lost the carefree look. If any one of you can try. Earlier, whatever he wants to do, he do. Mama, I don't want to go to do this rag picking work today. I want to sleep more. Sahib sleep. But now he works in that milk booth. Whatever the time he has to report, he has to do that. Now that carefree look he was having earlier, he has lost that. The steel canister. As per you, that bag he used to carry on his shoulders, that was heavy or that light steel canister is heavy? But now, according to Sahib, the steel canister heavier than the plastic bag he would carry so lightly over his shoulder. So, the steel canister is more heavier as compared to that plastic bag. Why? Because that plastic bags belongs to Sahib. that steel canister belongs to that owner of milk booth. The bag was his. The canister belongs to the man who owns the tea shop. Sahib is no longer his own master. In place of this question, you can get, or you can get this question too. How you can say that Sahib is no longer his own master, because now he has lost his carefree look, because now he worked in the tea stall and now his steel canister seems heavier as compared to the plastic bag he used to carry on his shoulder. So if we will get the question, how you can say Sahib is no longer his master, in that it is important to use this word, carefree look line. Okay, he has lost his carefree look. And if we will get the question, how you can say he has lost his carefree look, then it is important to use this line, Sahib is no longer his own master. I hope this story, this part is clear. Within two parts, we have covered the very first part of the story, Lost Spring, in which we have studied about Sahib who has lost his childhood. So in our next part, we are going to do the further story, and one more boy story we will read. Very interesting that is too. I hope you all will find that one too fascinating. So if you like this part, then you can like and subscribe too. Thank you.